Hello, everyone. This is a continuation to Barish's presentation, but I will dive a little bit more into different type of details about the Arabic market. So Tamatem is a mobile games publisher for the Arabic-speaking market. We are focusing on culturally relevant mobile games, usually mid-core to hardcore, and with cards as well, like the focus right now. So Tamatem, since the beginning, it has around 70 million downloads for its games. We have published 45 games, and most of these games have reached the top of the charts across the region. Why are we targeting the Arabic market, and why this hype about the Middle East and the Arabic market? Arabic is the fourth most spoken language worldwide, but maybe less than 1% of all content available online is available in Arabic. And this is a big market. This is like more than $2 billion market with maybe 400 million Arabic speakers. But the most important thing about the Arabic market is countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain have the highest average revenue per paying user in the entire world. We are talking about like maybe 8 times higher than China, 3 times higher than the US market. And the market this is like the fastest growing market also. But definitely an interesting market for people to start getting into. It's still cheap to acquire users, and the payout from these users in-app purchases are very, very high. Some information about the Arabic users. So most of the people will stick to 1 or 2 games if they are playing a mid-core to a hardcore game. They are very attached to the culture and language. And you might see a lot of people like open-minded and they are traveling and going, but once they start playing games, they will be very attracted to the culture back again. And they love to play games in their original language, despite people think that no, they will play them in English. If they find them in Arabic, then they will enjoy them much more. Countries like Saudi Arabia, as I said, have the highest RPPU in the world, and 75% of the population are active online. This is one of the most profitable countries in the world, and this is the second most profitable after Turkey. But if you put it like as this is as like a population, but per capita, it's much, much, much higher. And 25% of the people will spend 1 to 4 hours playing mobile games every day. The male users in Saudi Arabia, the focus is in Saudi because this is the biggest market, is they spend a lot of time online every day playing games. And 80% of them are mobile gamers. 85% are very young, 25 to 34 years old. And they spend $50 to $100 per month. And this is the most important thing, is that they want social interaction. So if you give people social interaction, chat, forums, ability to communicate to each other, you will have a winning game in the Arabic market. Female users, on the other hand, they are the highest spenders in the world on games and off games as well, shopping as well. Like they will spend a lot of money, and many of them are gamers. They enjoy playing games, and majority of females living in Saudi Arabia and the Gulf-rich countries, they don't work, and they have a lot of maids at home at the same time. So they have a lot of time to play games on the phone and do shopping online. And they spend money on games every month, and they spend less than male users, but in majority they will spend a lot of money on games. The top grossing games in the region vary between SLG games being the top performing games, and you will see card games, sport games like football games in general, and RPG games are the most successful. If you look at the top 20 or top 30 charts in the Middle East, these are dominant. And on the top 3 charts, as usual, you will find the casual games, the hyper-casual games, and sometimes card and board games. You will find them topping the free-to-play games. The majority of the market is definitely free to play, and less games are becoming popular to be paid. Also, in-app purchases make 80% of the revenue in the region. And this is a very big challenge for indie developers who are developing games like hyper-casual games or casual games in general that are dependent on ads that they want to successfully publish in the Arabic market, because the payout for ads in the region is very, very, very small. So most of the people will not make any. In the past, we have launched games with hundreds of millions of impressions on ads, but you will make very little money from ads. So the focus is on in-app purchases only. This will become very successful. Also, the majority of the market is Android, but the majority of the money comes from iOS. So you can flip these results for monetization. The biggest problem for the users is trying to enter the market. So you will find it very challenging because, and the opportunity is big, because Arabic, as I said, is a big language, a lot of users, but there is no content available for them. And at the same time, the biggest challenge for the developers is on how to get to the market. So the Arabic language is a very complex language. It is written from right to left, which means that when you want to implement Arabic inside the game, everything has to be flipped. And this you will find a lot of challenge in coding to do that. Also the culture sensitivity on how to exactly put the right things to be politically correct when you say things in Arabic. But also who will do the support, who will do the community management, are there certain things that you can do to do the monetization correctly, or do you do it as in the global? And you will find that the Arabic market is very unique with the things that you will need to do for it to become successful. This is why we do a publishing model for these companies. We help a lot of companies around the world get into the Arabic market by providing them with all the services related to getting into the market. So the process goes from localization, making sure that the language is correct, the art is correct, and then we help the developers with the monetization, implement certain features inside the game that will attract people to pay. So these show-off elements, these like social ideas that people love inside the games that will make them pay inside the game. Then you will do all the marketing, the creatives, which social networks to use, which influencers to use, minimizing the cost for the CPI and maximizing the ROI for the game that you are making, and definitely the support and community management for the game. The translation of the text is very different than, or let me say the localization or culturalization of text is very different than just pure translation. So making sure that the Arabic is correct, not like a Google Translate, so it will be a disaster. The UI direction of text, everything has to be right to left, and then you will do the story and the graphics to adapt them. But if you do all of these things, then you are like very much destined to succeed. And the reason behind that, as I said, there is no content in Arabic. So when you put a little bit of extra effort and you launch the game, then most probably you have like a very good chance of succeeding rather than launching a game in English without putting any effort into that. Definitely like App Store optimization plays a big role into making these games successful. these are small like challenges a lot of developers face, is when they want to localize things in Arabic and they will put it on Google Translate or any other service, you will find that the text will be broken down into characters, and this is not how Arabic is written. You will find a lot of ads on Facebook and Instagram, and like the text is like all like messed up. People will immediately recognize that this is a low quality localization, and they will not download the game, and you will just like pay money. The money will go to waste. These are also examples of people trying to localize games into Arabic. This is an extreme, and this is like also another extreme. So you cannot like go like this, and also don't like veil women like crazy, because this also does not represent people in the region. Maybe this is something more realistic that we have seen, like just like small changes, but will give a better effect rather than going full force into making a lot of changes. Marketing is very crucial into making the game successful, knowing which social networks. So in the region, you will find that Facebook is very dominant. Snapchat also is very, very, very strong in Saudi Arabia. Twitter, you will see that Saudi Arabia is the #1 country in the world in the consumption of YouTube videos per capita. It is also the #1 country in the world in the usage of Twitter. For utilizing this platform to advertise for the game is very important. Also, you can focus on influencer marketing, so finding the influencers. So a simple influencer campaign with someone who has a couple of million of followers will bring you more results than a $10,000 campaign on Facebook or other social media. Also, we have built our own influencer networks. We have, in the company, in Tamatem, we have signed exclusive deals with influencers to advertise for companies in the region. And they have millions and millions of followers. Voiceovers and music inside the game can add an extra touch to the game to make people believe that these games are successful, localized, speak the same language as them. People will appreciate that a lot. Something interesting that we have seen that we've never seen anywhere else in the world is having 24/7 support for the games, especially for hardcore games, strategy games, and this type of games. If you are attracting someone who will end up paying you $100,000 per month, then it's really worth having someone dedicated to answer their questions 24/7. It's like a personal concierge service for these top whales. So you are not dealing with a traditional market. You are dealing with a market of VIPs. And these VIPs want to be treated differently. And if you give them that, then you will see like an open credit card for you, which is brilliant. These are like some case studies of games that we have launched globally. This was like a game that was never known in the Arabic market. Just small localization for that, and it shot to the first spots in the free app store. These are like more racing games, drifting games, making like small changes to these games. Instead of driving a Lamborghini, which is like we are all used to in racing games, you are starting to ride the pickup, which is something very popular. People go race in these in the desert in Saudi Arabia. That sort of localization made all the difference for these players. Also, we have maybe launched 40 different games, and every single title that we have launched has reached the top of the charts across the region. This is like our most successful game. This is a card game, very local. You'll see like some of the changes that we have made to that game. We changed the female character to a male character, which represents the audience that we are after. Middle-aged men from 24 to 40 years old with like the traditional clothes, and like focusing a lot on the word VIP, because this is what they want and this is how they would like to be represented. So just like making small changes will make all the difference. Also, we have launched successful RPG games from China, from Korea. All of them will follow the same techniques on how to launch these games successfully. Even like Airport City from Game Insight was launched successfully in Arabic. We are launching soon a couple of very interesting titles from Korea and from a game called Hollywood Story from Nanobit in the region, and looking to find like more successful games worldwide to be launched successfully in the Arabic market. We've nominated for a couple of awards this year by Pocket Gamer. And thank you so much. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope if you need anything from us, let me know. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.